like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
Paris has always had its own rhythm during Fashion Week, a pulse that beats between flashing cameras, hurried stylists, and the crisp echo of designer heels across marble floors. But this season, that rhythm changed. It quickened, intensified, and shimmered with something unmistakable: the Jimin effect. When BTS's Jimin stepped into Paris for Fashion Week, the city itself seemed to take a breath. Streets buzzed with anticipation, luxury houses whispered about his arrival days in advance. Even in an event saturated with global icons, models, and artists, Jimin's presence pierced through the noise like light through glass. And no one captured this shift more vividly than an American producer who attended multiple shows across Paris. His words, now circulating across industry circles and social media alike, summed up what many insiders were thinking but hadn't dared to say aloud. He was everywhere, the producer laughed, still half in disbelief. Not just in the front rows, but in conversations, in creative direction meetings, even in the way people were dressing. Jimin wasn't just attending Fashion Week. He was Fashion Week. The global magnetism of Jimin. There's something about Jimin that defies easy definition. To fans, he's the emotional center of BTS, known for his elegance, vulnerability, and the kind of charisma that doesn't need to shout to be heard. To the fashion world, however, he represents something more, a bridge between cultures, aesthetics, and generations. When Jimin became global ambassador for Dior, it wasn't merely a collaboration. It was a signal. Kim Jones, Dior men's creative director, once described him as the embodiment of modern grace. And this Fashion Week proved just that. From the moment Jimin arrived at Charles de Gaulle Airport, the atmosphere changed. Videos of him stepping out in his understated yet perfectly tailored ensemble, soft gray wool coat, silver chain, and a pair of Dior loafers, spread like wildfire online. Parisian photographers called it the calm before the storm. At the Dior show itself, he didn't just draw attention, he commanded it. Sitting front row beside international celebrities, Jimin radiated a quiet authority. His gestures were minimal, his smile subtle, but the cameras refused to look away. Each turn of his head sparked hundreds of flashes. "He's the kind of person who doesn't try," said one stylist from Los Angeles, overheard outside the venue. "He just is." And that's what fashion's been missing lately: authenticity. Behind the scenes, the producer's perspective. The American producer, known for working on high-profile collaborations between Western artists and luxury brands, admitted that he initially underestimated the power of K-pop's influence in Paris. "I knew BTS was big," he said, "but I didn't understand how big until I saw Jimin. Every designer, every PR person, every after-party, they were all talking about him. He wasn't just a guest. He was the conversation." According to him, the energy around Jimin was unlike anything he'd witnessed before. Usually, when a celebrity attends Fashion Week, it's about their look or their entourage. But with Jimin, it was different. People were dissecting his expressions, his body language, even how he interacted with others. It was like watching a masterclass in quiet influence. Paris, reimagined through Jimin's lens. Paris Fashion Week is no stranger to spectacle. But Jimin's presence seemed to add an emotional layer that transcended surface glamour. During his stay, he visited small cafes between shows, smiling shyly at fans who spotted him. Locals described him as gentle, polite, and radiating peace. Yet online, his every step ignited millions of posts and hashtags. Hashtag Jimin at Paris FW, hashtag Jiming's Dior, hashtag Park Jimin Paris. Even for the American producer, who claimed to have worked with countless stars, the contrast was striking. "Usually fame feels heavy," he explained. "You can sense when a celebrity is performing. But Jimin's fame felt light. It filled the room without overwhelming it. That's rare, that's power." The visual language of Jimin. What sets Jimin apart isn't just his celebrity status, it's his instinctive understanding of image and emotion. In fashion, that's gold. Every gesture he makes seems choreographed by feeling rather than calculation. When he steps onto a red carpet, he doesn't pose, he exists. That's something producers, photographers, and brand strategists all noticed this season. A stylist from New York put it perfectly. He has the aura of an old-world film star, the grace of someone who's lived 1,000 stories, but speaks through silence. And that's precisely why Western producers are now so eager to work with him. Beyond BTS's astronomical fame, Jimin represents a shift in the global creative landscape, where emotion, vulnerability, and authenticity are the new luxury. Cultural fusion and global impact. For years, K-pop idols have attended fashion weeks across the world. But Jimin's appearance in Paris symbolized something more profound, the collapse of old cultural hierarchies. The American producer admitted that seeing Jimin in Paris changed his understanding of global influence entirely. "I realize the West doesn't lead culture anymore," he said. "It shares it. And Jimin is at the center of that exchange." From music to movement, from stage to style, Jimin brings a kind of storytelling that transcends language. His mere presence in Paris sparked not just admiration, but imitation, designers referencing his looks, artists sketching his silhouette, brands rethinking how to approach Asian representation. It was, in the producer's words, a quiet revolution disguised as a fashion moment. The Dior connection. Dior's partnership with Jimin marked a turning point in how luxury brands view celebrity collaborations. Rather than using him as a promotional figure, they positioned him as part of the brand's identity. In Paris, this relationship was on full display. Behind the scenes, Jimin met with creative teams, photographers, and executives, not as a guest, but as a creative equal. A source from Dior's PR division mentioned, "When Jimin gives feedback, people listen. He understands texture, movement, and emotion in fabric, not from a technical standpoint, but from an artistic one. It's intuitive." Even the American producer couldn't hide his fascination. "He has this incredible awareness of space and mood," he said. "When he enters a room, you feel like the lighting shifts to accommodate him. That's not marketing. That's presence." The Jimin phenomenon. Beyond music, beyond fashion. After the shows ended, Paris returned to its usual rhythm. But Jimin's imprint lingered. Cafés displayed photos of him, street artists painted his likeness on the walls of Le Marais, boutique owners whispered about the Korean angel, who brought warmth to the cold precision of high fashion. In the days that followed, the American producer shared his reflections online, sparking a wave of discussion in both the fashion and entertainment industries. "I came to Paris for the clothes," his post read, "but I left thinking about Jimin." He later added, "In every after-party, every conversation, his name came up. People said, 'Did you see him smile? Did you notice how calm he was?' That's the thing, he doesn't need to dominate. He just reminds people what beauty feels like." A star who redefines influence. What makes Jimin's presence so transformative is his refusal to conform. While many celebrities chase virality, Jimin gravitates toward sincerity. He doesn't project luxury, he personifies it through grace, empathy, and restraint. In an industry built on spectacle, that's what makes him unforgettable. The American producer concluded, "I've seen hundreds of stars. But Jimin, he's different. He's not trying to be the moment, he is the moment." That line went viral overnight, quoted by media outlets and fans alike. It captured what millions already knew, that Jimin's power lies not in the noise he makes, but in the silence he commands. Paris still whispers his name. Weeks after Fashion Week ended, the city continued to hum with echoes of his visit. Taxi drivers mentioned the chaos outside Dior's venue. Waiters recalled serving him coffee. Designers spoke of how his energy lingered in creative meetings long after he'd flown back to Seoul. As one French editor wrote, "He came and left quietly, but Paris feels different now." Perhaps that's the essence of Jimin, ephemeral yet eternal, humble yet monumental. A star who doesn't demand attention, but earns it with every glance, every step, every breath. For an American producer used to the noise of Hollywood and the spectacle of fame, encountering Jimin at Paris Fashion Week was a revelation, not of celebrity, but of art. And as he told a journalist weeks later, shaking his head with a soft laugh, "I've been to dozens of fashion weeks, but I've never seen anything like that." Jimin didn't just attend Paris. He became its heartbeat,